Taką jajecznicę lubił Marek Edelman. I mówił, że to jest jajecznica z różą. Tyle jaj. Ale ponieważ on nigdy niczego nie tłumaczył, to mówił z różą i koniec. I człowiek musiał sam wszystko wymyślić. Jak był zadowolony, to znaczy, że wymyślone jest dobrze. Jajecznica z różą, no tak. Powinnam powiedzieć z białą różą. Bo my teraz jesteśmy na białe róże nastawieni.
Jak to twoje też znamy. Dziękuję. Dziękuję.
I've said this before at other interviews that I used to come to Warsaw and to the cemeteries, and that's all I did. And now, I mean, and I realized before the trip, when people would ask me, is this your first trip to Poland? And my first answer was no, I've been before, but when I really thought about it, I felt like I never saw Poland. I mean, I saw Warsaw, and I didn't even see Warsaw. I mean, I don't think I was even in a cafe or anything. So we started in Warsaw, the AHA Foundation, Art, History, and Apfelstrudel. We went from Warsaw, we did work here, we went on to Krakow, we went on to Zakopane, we went on to Lublin, and then we went on to Sena, and now we're back in Warsaw. So it's, I mean, just even physically driving through the countryside between cities, and riding on a train, and then in each place meeting a whole group of different people who are, in many cases, interconnected. So there's like a network, it seems, that I feel very lucky to have stepped into, because it's there, you know, I can just connect. And so that was the trip. And that's like, it's not only unusual for me in Poland, it's just unusual for me in my life, because I've never done anything quite like this before. The meetings, the meeting of the people, the interconnections of the people, the traveling through the country. I mean, it's all been just amazing. Amazing. I mean, I really feel like I have to go home and I have to sit by myself and just think to try to process everything that's happened. First of all, I didn't even know that anybody knew about me here, so that was a big surprise. And I've never done bilingual readings before, so that was totally new, just in another language. That was a complete revelation. And I was very moved by the responses of the audience. I mean, in many different forms. I mean, the reactions, different people reacted to different things. And I was very moved by that, I mean, I have to say. So, and I thought, I mean, I've said this to you, usually my readings of poetry readings in the United States are small. You get anywhere from 20 to 30 people and it's considered a big success, because people just don't go to poetry readings. And all of these readings were much bigger than that. And yesterday was just a perfect closing. I mean, I put up a stone yesterday for the families, my parents' families who died, and who had no memorials anywhere. And that was very much a closing thing for me, to be able to do that and feel that there's some kind of recognition of their existence sort of in the world, besides in some obscure book that nobody's going to read. I feel it, you know, because they are mentioned in books. I mean, I had to find all this information. But the outside world, and I just feel that there's something there. It's small, but it's clear and it's definite. And there's people that often come to see my father's stone, so they'll see that also. Or they'll come to see the Bund and they'll see it. It's practically next to it. So I'm very satisfied with that. It was a really great closure. It was always looking back. It was not about what's now, exactly what's now. And you know, we spent a lot of time talking about what's now. We didn't only talk about the past. We talked about what's going on right now, here and in the States, and we have that constant conversation. So this trip was very unusual for me in that, in terms of Poland. I mean, I saw it in a very, very different perspective. I think that everybody is sort of in a state of shock to some degree. nobody was planning for this. I mean, I think people were planning other battles. They sort of foresaw other issues and stuff. And the extreme of what's happened is very, very shocking. And I don't have any answer. I mean, I don't have any particular. You have to keep doing what you're doing. I mean, you have to resist. And the forms of resistance have to be thought through, and have to be thought through really carefully, because I think we're up against just fascism, and nobody was prepared to do that. But it's very, I mean, it's very, very serious. And it's shocking. I mean, it's shocking how serious it is. I mean, circumstances in my lifetime have always been serious. I mean, for a lot of people, it's never been, it's never been good for a lot of people. But this is really beyond almost anything that I think any of us could have imagined, that it could go back so backwards. It's so backwards, it's just shocking. I mean, and it's so irrational in some way. People are picking up ideologies that their grandparents and parents died fighting against. I mean, it's unheard of. I mean, and I don't think they realize maybe they do realize, maybe this is really what they want, I don't know. But the implications are so dire that I think by the time, I think a lot of people, by the time they start feeling the implications, it may be too late. I'd love to come back, very much, very much. I feel I really made friends here, as much as I have. I mean, in a very short, and partly because it was so intense, I think we made really close connections. I very much would like to come back. If it's feasible, yes, definitely. Król Karol kupił królowe Karolinę korale koloru koralowego. Moja mama to mnie uczyła.